Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for another Tool Time gear review. And I've got a see it to believe it kind of review this week, so I thought I'd start with the finished product, show you exactly what this Gentent generator cover looks like. Then we'll go into some footage of me putting it together. I'll share with you the pros and the cons of it, what I love about it, a couple of things that might be able to be improved, and whether it's worth the big investment that you have to take. All right guys, real quick before we dive into this week's review, if you're new here, just checking out the channel and you want to know more about who I am, run by toolmantim.co, that's toolmantim.co, to find out everything there is to know about who I am. All my social media links there, links to the weekly podcast, and if you're interested in following me in an audio only format, I take all my videos every week, turn them into an audio compilation called The Weekly Workshop. You can subscribe to it through all the normal podcast catchers, so check that out. All right, guys, so this week, like you know, a generator is a big investment. It's something that, you know, everybody who's into emergency preparedness wants to have, and you want to have something that's going to work for you. But you also want to have to take care of that, and there's lots of ways to do that. You can build insulated sheds, you can build generator sheds. You could even build a kind of a lean-to, pour it off the side of your house as long as it's far enough away. There's all kinds of options for that. But for me, in my backyard, there's not a ton of space. And I thought this here, when I was told about it by a community member in the YouTube comments, they said, hey, why don't you check out a Gentent? Have you ever seen one? You ever done a review on one? Obviously, I hadn't. And so I started digging into them, and I thought, you know what? This might be really, really cool. I like it. It's basically a weatherproof tent that goes on top of your generator. It stays on there, it clamps onto the sides. I'm going to show you some footage afterwards of how to assemble it and put it on and what it looks like and that sort of thing. But it basically sits up on the top. You can take it down when it's not in use. The only thing you leave on your generator are the 4 clamps around the outside. And it protects it from wind, rain, snow, but still allows it to have tons of oxygen. So you guys know when I'm doing these reviews, I love to research the products the best I can, go back on the manufacturer's website. Well, the Gentent, they're very proud of their products. Number one, they're not cheap. So you'll see that. This guy was $242 Canadian, quite a bit less American. I think they're around $160, but they're independently verified. This company has taken all of their claims that they make, and their claims are that are good for up to 70 mile an hour winds, 18 inches of snow, the material will not burn, and it's guaranteed that your generator will get all of the oxygen that it needs to run properly. So they sent all of those claims off to an independent lab, had them all tested out, and they all come back to meet or exceed what their claims were. Plus, on their website, which was really cool, they had a bunch of real life footage of just community users, people who've bought this product, using it in hurricanes, snowstorms, that sort of thing. And you know what? It looks like it really does work. Now, I'm not going to know until I have to pull my generator out, probably in the middle of winter, because that tends to be when we have it. But I wanted to tell you guys about this cool product. I wanted to unbox it, show you what it comes with, do an assembly for you so that you can see if maybe this is something that you're interested in. Some of the other really cool features we'll show you as we put it together, but it has a nice flap that goes down and protects all of your electrical connections, which is nice. It has a refueling door on the top, which is really good. And you can pick it up and move the generator around with the tent installed. So let's open this guy up. We'll get my knife out here. Hopefully it doesn't rattle too much on you. And we will see what comes in the box. So as far as a neat product, I mean, yeah, a feller could make something a lot cheaper than this. But what I like about this is it's temporary and permanent at the same time. So you end up having a product that all that is permanent on your generator is those 4 clamps. Everything else is something that you can take off and store away. They even, for an extra charge of course, sell a carrying bag for this thing. So that's cool too. Well, let's see if we can get it out of here without ripping the box, eh? So there's really not a whole lot to it. There we are. We'll leave the empty box right there so you guys can see that. 4 very flexible tent poles. This is the Storm Bracer Gentent assembly right here. not a whole lot to it. This is the cap piece that goes on the top, or nope, that is the electrical panel sleeve. This is how this guy opens up like this. It has a little built-in blow-through kind of vent at the top to help release the pressure so that it doesn't lift it up and carry it off like Dorothy going to Kansas. And here is the hardware pack. 4 corners. Gentent thanks you. Owner's manual that comes with it. And then you get these 4 spacer type clamps that go on the 4 poles all the way around. And the rest, 4 more clamps there and a little bit of hardware. So the company sells a couple other accessories as well. One of them is a pretty cool outdoor storage kit. So it basically is a nylon style skirting and tent that comes down the rest of it. So if you're in a really tight spot where you do not have an outdoor shed or storage area, then you can grab that and you can keep it stored outdoors year round. I don't love the idea. I hate the idea of the dampness and stuff coming up from the ground, but say you got to store it under a carport on a cement ground, that would be really, really handy. Like I mentioned, you can also get a carrying kit for this thing, I guess, if that's what you're into. But honestly, for me, I just was looking to get one of these to give it a go and test it out and see if this is going to work. Because my biggest concern last year, earlier this year, in that late March blizzard we had with that heavy wet snow, I had my generator out there running. It works great, but I hate the idea of snow and runoff getting down in all the electronics. So we'll give this a shot. Hang in there. I'm going to switch out to the yard and we're going to give it a quick assembly and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so I wanted to show you a couple of up close things here. These are the 4 frame clamps, and depending on how wide your generator frame is, you'll set the different pins. There's 4 different pin depths here. So I measured the width of my generator right there. So across from pole to pole on the actual frame was 26 inches. So then you go into the manual, you find the chart, and it tells you which hole to use. And in this case, we use number 4. Then the next thing you do is you put a carriage bolt through this side here and then loosely put on that knob. That rubber sleeve was in there. We take that out and then we're going to go over to the generator. Okay, so we're down here on the ground. We've got all 4 of our clamps, like I showed you, adjusted properly. Now there's 2 ways to measure. You start from the top, measure down 9 inches, and if the clamps aren't free, you measure down as close as you can, about a ½ inch below the electrical panel. In this case, or the electrical connections. In this case, it's going to be more like 1.5 inches, but that's as close as I can get. So first thing we do is we slide these rubber sleeves on the corners like this, with the mouth facing out 45 degrees from the frame. Secondly, we take this guy right here, push him onto the frame, slide him up as high as we can get him to 45 degrees roughly. Don't want the handle to hit it, so we'll get it right there and we'll tighten him down. And we're going to go around and we're going to repeat that process on all 4 handles. Okay, and this is number 3 here. So they do make, if yours doesn't fit, they make a screw-on adapter. Whoops, that one's upside down, that you can put on as well for spots where there isn't enough room to get that rubber clamp in place. Okay, so the clamps are all in, and I folded them in to show you what it looks like when they're folded in for storage, so they're not sticking out and, you know, going to be able to be broke off. And I thought, I'm not going to show you the first time I assembled everything. I'm going to show you the second time. This would be a more real-world situation. Once you've gone through and put it all together once, now you have everything in place, and this is what it'll be like trying to put it together, except picture dark skies, heavy winds, rain or snow, that sort of thing. But I wanted to show you how long it actually takes to assemble and have it on there and have your generator weatherproof. I would suggest doing this in the garage. There's lots of room for it if you have that kind of room, and then wheeling it outside because, as you can see, once it's all assembled, no problem. Now I'm going around here. I already got the 4 clamps slid out into place and then tightened down with little wing nuts. And then I found the easiest way from there is to go around and put all 4 tent pegs in the tent holes, or the little peg holes there. Now at the top, there's a 4-way receiver, kind of like when you're putting a tent together. You just slide each pole into that and you'll see they're tight, but it doesn't take any time at all to do. And you work your way around, get all 4 in, you make that dome shape. And then all that's left is to unroll the cover
And you'll see just like that, it's all kind of assembled. It has rigid sides. You throw it up and over, try not to let the wind grab it. And then there's 4 elastic bands that you pull down around all 4 sides, and they literally just hook around the bottom of those brackets. The brackets have that little knob at the end that hold them into place, and that is that. It took me 1 minute and 43 seconds to put this together, and it was only the second time I did it. So there you go. Then you pull it down tight around the edges. You got that little sleeve there, and you're done. So one other little part of the assembly process that I didn't show in the video, and I thought I better show you this, is the electrical protection cover flap. So it just fits in there, and then the entire thing runs along just up underneath that folded seam. There's a long strip of Velcro, a very sturdy, seems like it should hold on in the case of heavy winds. So you just lift up that flap, pull this tight, you'll see this all the way around, and then you just get it up inside and press the Velcro in place all the way around. And then that leaves a lip for the rain to run over and not get into your electronics, but it's still easily accessible. You can just lift it up and get it out of the way. And one other feature that isn't abundantly clear right away is this really cool fueling door. So when you have it all together, you might not notice it, but that lifts up completely so that you can reach in and fill it up with the fuel. I really like that. Still be a little bit cautious about spilling fuel in there. Of course, turn it off, but I like how wide and accessible that really is. And then finally, check this out. You can pick it up with the handle, cover on, and it's totally accessible. That is one of the best selling features of this item, in my opinion, for sure.
So what are my final thoughts? Good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, the good is that thing is compact. You saw how small it folds down, something about that big and as long as this box right here. Stores away really well. The brackets fold, well, it's easy assembly with the brackets. I really like those. They fold into place and stay out of the way. Also love that. I have no doubt that the company's claims verified by a third party will work, are absolutely 100% honest. It seems that way anyway from all the videos I've watched. So this product will do what it says it will do. The bad, those 4 brackets that go around the outside of the frame that hold everything into place, they do not feel very substantial. The ugly, the price. It is expensive. I love it. I'm glad I bought it. Buy once, cry once. It's going to work. But when you have to spend over $200 Canadian or well over $120, $130 American at least for one of these, the brackets don't have to be metal, but man, guys, they're just, that part of them are cheap, and I hate that. Like, I want to love this product. I want to give it a 5 out of 5, but those brackets make it like a 3.5 out of 5. If they were sturdier, I know they need to be adjustable, but if they were sturdier and they were metal, it would be 100% for sure. Will I still recommend it? Yes, with the caveat that be careful with those brackets. It's not like, the thing is, and I know those brackets aren't there. You're not going to be using them 5 times a week, 4 times a day, that kind of thing. You're only going to be using them once, twice, 3 times a year. And if you're careful and gentle with them, you're never going to have an issue. So I'm okay with that, and I get it. But for the price that you have to pay for it, I really wish those brackets were a little sturdier. Now I know also the fact that mine have to be extended the full length to get up and over my bigger generator. I get that. So they're going to be a little more wobbly, but still, come on, that's the one thing, even if they had to put the price up another $10 and they made them out of like extruded aluminum or something, or even just a heavier plastic would have been good. That's my only gripe with this. I love how fast it assembles. That is awesome. I love how small and compact that it folds down to. I love the fact that the generator is still 100% mobile with it on there. I love the company's claims of being able to protect it from wind, rain, snow, and still give your engine plenty of air to get in there. So I love all of that. I love how it fits. I love how it looks. I'm happy with it. I'm going to use it. I'm absolutely going to use it. Is it for everybody? Maybe, maybe not. Could you spend that same amount of money and maybe build a soundproof enclosure that's also weatherproof? Possibly, but there's a lot of work involved. So if you want something that you can fold up, put away, keep in your garage, then absolutely, this is the way to go. Remember those brackets. Be careful of those brackets. To me, that seems to be the weak point of the design, especially with all that stress of those tent poles on there. But again, the price is a little bit high. So I would say it's one of those it depends recommendations. I'm glad I bought it. I'm happy I have it. It's going to be a tool I'm going to use. But if you do pick it up, remember those brackets are a bit on the wonky side. So maybe check with the company and see, hey, how do I go about getting an extra set of brackets because I feel like these are going to break? And maybe they'll stand by their product. I hope they do because I know they're very proud of it. And to me, that's the one chink in the armor of something that could go wrong with this. That's it. Other than that, it's a perfect design. I love the way it's designed. The material's heavy. So that's it, guys. I wanted to share with you my final thoughts. Good, the bad, the ugly. Do I recommend it? Yes, but. So, you know, if you're looking for something and this suits exactly what you want, great. But there may be other options out there as well. So just wanted to put that out there for you guys. All right. And if you're new, keep coming around, man. I love these videos. I love making this stuff. And this was a 100% user submitted idea. They mentioned this product to me. I grabbed it. I thought, hey, I got to do a review on it. So keep sending me these great ideas. I love emergency preparedness videos, generator videos, prepping videos, all of that. So keep sending me the ideas and I'll keep doing them, guys. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.